Welcome to another presentation of the Silent Sports video blog right here on the Silent Sports and Gaming channel. I'm Troy Westhead. Thank you so much for watching. This is episode 191 and today's date is July 30th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's about 8:45 on the East Coast. Thank you so much for joining me as I do my sports blogs every morning. Try to have them posted by 10 a.m. So I thank you guys for supporting the channel. Not a lot to talk about today. This should be a shorter video as well. We'll touch on some baseball news, look at the standings, look at the current playoff picture, talk about a few things in Major League Baseball. Trade deadline coming up a few days from now, Tuesday. So talk about a few rumors and things of that nature. NBA, nothing really. It's kind of quiet right now as well. But we'll talk about the James Harden contract. Now they try to say it might have been some tampering done by the Sixers. I'll give my thoughts on that. NFL, you heard about the Kyler Murray contract. It's been about a week now, but it came out that they try to put in this contract that he had to study more film for 4 hours a week or whatever it was. But the Cardinals, since they rescinded that, it was a lot of drama. I get my thoughts on that, and my top 5 running backs of the NFL going into the season. I've shared that with you. I posted on I'm gonna post it on Instagram and social media, Twitter, all my social medias, Facebook. It'll be all over that. So you can chime in and give your opinion on that. I'll give you my top 5 and just an update on the channel, of course. If you don't know by now, if you're watching, you probably know I'm at exactly 100 subscribers, so I'm very, very proud of that. Shout out to my buddy Good Vibes, and that's another thing. I'll be giving a lot of shout outs at the end of the video. Everybody that's been supportive of me in the beginning and now. You know, I'm gonna try to remember everybody. I should have made a list, but I wanted to be genuine, so I got the people that I think in my mind that I really want to thank, even not on YouTube, friends of mine, and one of my friends of mine right now was in an accident, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. But let's get into our baseball news. Like I said, I don't know a lot of baseball fans, but I'm going to be a baseball fan for life. I'm always going to love baseball, so I'm sorry if you're not a baseball fan, but if you're not, you can skip through the video. That's the good thing about YouTube. You can skip. This is not live, so you can skip through this part. But I just want to look you through the standings because there's no real big news going on other than the trade deadline coming up. Now, let me address some of the rumors that I've heard that some people are getting credence to. First of all, Adam Judge, Yankees. First of all, he's had a monster season. I hit another 2 home runs last night, including the grand slam. He's at 41, and we just about to get to August, so he really got a really good chance to get into that 60 mark. Laws to continue to pitch for him, but him, there's rumors about him being moved because the Yankees don't want to pay him. Now that makes sense, but I don't think so. I think the Yankees, well, first of all, they shouldn't wait. They should just go ahead and give him what he wants. But he turned down a big contract, so I don't know if it was the years or the money. Maybe, they didn't match. But anyway, I don't think he's going nowhere, in my personal opinion. The Yankees definitely going to lock him up. If they don't, they're going to regret that one for sure. So I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe it'd be right after the season. Especially if they win the World Series. I don't see how they don't give him what he wants. But I don't think he's going nowhere. But if that does happen, then it's clear that they didn't want to pay him, or they didn't want to oblige to what he wanted. So, but I don't think that's happening. There's no way they traded him. They did pick up Andrew Benintendi. That's probably been the most notable small little trade. I wouldn't call it small because he's having a great year despite even though they're playing the Royals and the Yankees are playing each other, but he's having a good year, especially with his batting average. So I think that's another bat the Yankees need, just to give it some stability. I think they might try to go for a pitcher though, another pitcher to match Garrett Cole. So we'll see what the Yankees do. So there might be some players here. Juan Soto, I think that's the biggest name that might be moved. Everything I'm hearing out of Washington that he pretty much done. He don't want to be there. He don't feel comfortable there. Basically, he's unhappy. I think if they offered him a deal, I don't think he would turn it down. I think he really would have leave. So Washington, the Nationals might try to move him. Then they having a bad year, so they might try to move him, maybe get a nice package for him. We'll see what happens. The Cardinals has come up. If the Cardinals get him, I think that would definitely help them with him. Paul Goldsmith, the way he's probably the National League MVP right now, the way he's having. But the Cardinals, right there, they're in the wild card, and we go look at the divisions. But they could win the division for Milwaukee. Milwaukee, to me, they need a bat too. I watched them play on YouTube the other day. They was playing the Twins. Even though they scored a lot of runs that game, but I think a consistent bat will help them. Because Christian Yelich is struggling a little bit, not having the big year that he normally has. So I think if they get another bat, I would be surprised if they end up running for him too. I heard the Dodgers, of course, the Dodgers always make these type of moves. They had injury, but the Dodgers doing fine, but that would definitely solidify that. So they said the Yankees too. I don't know what the Yankees would give up for, but that would really make their lineup deeper if they're able to get him. So to me, they're the only teams that make sense. I think teams that's in the middle of the road, like Minnesota, I give them credit, or Cleveland, but teams that's not, I think if it's not a full season team, I don't think nobody really entertain that. They just wait probably until he might become, I don't know if he's a free agent this season, but they probably wait till he become available. Any other rumors? They the two biggest names. Judge was, was rumored. Locally here in Baltimore, I'm in Baltimore, so the Orioles, Trey Mancini name has come up a lot. He's pretty much said bye to the fans the other night, so because they're not home until after the trade deadline. So we'll see if he gets moved. He could be a solidified bat to help someone. I was talking to my resident yesterday, and he was saying he don't think, he thinking for the deeper thing that what he means to the team. And shout out to the Orioles. They've done very, very well this year. And I am a fan, but like I said, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan first. I tell this story all the time. Like I said, I grew up watching the Braves. Even though I'm from Baltimore, I'm more of a Braves fan, but I still like the Orioles as well. But in my personal opinion, I think they should stand pat. Because just the chemistry and everything, it just feels like something special there. I think if they bring in somebody to try to make that push, now I would try to see if I can find a pitcher though, even though their pitching has been good as well. Honestly, I think they should just not trade, do nothing. Let the farm system doing well. Let that continue to grow naturally. If you make the playoffs, good. If you don't, it still was a successful season. Nobody expected the Orioles to be that good. They started off bad. They turned it on. Went on a 10-game win streak, as you remember, a week or so ago. So I think they should stay at pack, but Trey Mancini name has come up. But I don't think they should go get a bat that's only going to probably be here for the rest of this season, because I don't know if the Orioles are going to pay him. Because if you go for, if you try to get a Soto or any other the bats out there, they might just be there just for this part of the season that you gave up assets to get them. So I think the Orioles should stand back. A team like them should stand back. Then just ride the rest of the season out. See if you can get in the postseason. But if you don't, I still think it was a good season. I think you'll be a contender next season for sure, because all these guys will get better. Andy Roshman will have some experience in the majors. I think he's going to just continue to get better. He showed flashes. Just the team itself, just the chemistry, I don't think he would have messed that up. So if I'm the Birds, I stand pat. But like I said, all the contenders might try to get another bat, or like I said, I think Soto is the one that probably the contenders are looking at, even if they only have him for the first half, for the rest of this season. So okay, so let's look at the standings real quick. Look at the playoff picture as we stand here today. Of course, Yankees still in first place in the East. Toronto is second now at 55 and 45. Tampa is struggling a little bit. They just played the Orioles. Orioles won 3 or 4 from them this week. So Orioles in 4th, and then Boston's at last. Boston is actually a game under 500 now at 50 and 51. Central, Minnesota Twins a game lead over the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians quietly been hanging in there. White Sox still hanging in there as well, a game under, 3 back. And then it's Detroit and Kansas City, which is they way out. 12 games for Detroit, 13.5 for Kansas City. In the West, Astros continue to win. 66-35. They're 12 clear of the Mariners. That's the second place. So they got Rangers, Angels. Speaking of the Angels, the Satoni, that's the one I missed. It's rumors he might go to the Yankees. I don't think it's going to happen because I think they'll trade Trout before they trade Tony, just simply because money. He brings in a whole country that got eyes on the Angels. Even though they're not winning, he's still having a good season. So you don't want to lose that. And I mean, to me, that's the only reason why I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they would trade Trout before they trade. I don't think they'll trade either one of them, though. I honestly don't. I don't think one of them will get moved either. But I think they would really get Trout out of there before they get Satoni out of there. But if they do, if the Yankees do find a way to get him, that'd be that other pitcher that they need. This solidify that starting rotation and another bat too. So if he do get moved and go to a contender, he already elevates your chances. So that'd be interesting, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't personally. I'd be somewhat shocked if it does happen. Let's move on to the National League. Mets still got a 3-game lead over my Braves. That's Mets at 62-37. My Braves 60-41. Phillies, like I said, they won't die. They 53-47. They in third place, but they 9.5 back. And then you got Miami, and then you got the Nationals that's almost 30 games back. So that's why this is a good time to go ahead and trade Soto now and try to maybe get some assets back. Central, Milwaukee. I seen them play, like I said, this week. They looked pretty good to me. That bullpen, probably the best in baseball. But I still think they do need another bat. St. Louis Cardinals, same with them. Paul Goldsmith. Nolan Arenado, I think, is sort of not having one of his big years, but I think they also could use another pitcher as well, the Cardinals. But I think they're going to be back and forth, like I said. But Milwaukee got a 3-game lead right now in that Central Division. Then you got the Cubs, Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Cincinnati Reds. Then in the West, Dodgers 67-32, and like I said, they had a lot of injuries this year, so they might be looking at Juan Soto as well. This Philadelphia they lineup. Probably in the line for a pitcher too. Clay Kershaw is quietly having another Clay Kershaw year, but as Tony Glosser has stepped up into that starting rotation and made his name for himself. Was an all-star, was a starter, I think, for the National League, I believe. So the Dodgers still doing well. Padres they ain't right there. They 12 back at the division, but 56-45, not bad. And everybody else under 500, San Francisco, who hung around for a while, but I think they finally came back to earth. Yeah, Arizona and Colorado both for 45 wins at the bottom of the West. So let's look at now the wild card picture here. If we load up, there we go. So it's 3 teams this year. So the first 2 teams with the best record in each league, they get a sort of, I guess you would call it a bye or whatever. Then the third division winner got to play a game. I think it's a best of 3. I need to check that out to be 100% sure of that. But it's 6 teams in each league basically. So the top 3 teams in the American League: Toronto +2, and you got Seattle with a spot at +1.5 a game. Then Tampa's in that last spot. Then you got Cleveland a game and a half back. You got the Orioles 2 back. Boston 3.5. White Sox also 3.5. Then you got Texas at 7.5. I'm gonna only bring them up because they not really that far off. Well, kind of as far as under 500, but everybody else is 10 back at least. Angels, Tigers, Royals and the A's. So, in the National League, my Braves definitely got a strong spot, 6.5 up for that first spot. The second spot go to the Padres, they plus 2.5, and then the Phillies got that last spot tied with St. Louis. Then after that, to me, I think that's the National League is set, because I don't see San Francisco improving, Miami, Arizona, Colorado. That's all those teams, Washington, Cincinnati. I don't see none of them turning it around all of a sudden and making the push. So I think the National League is going to be what it is. Now it's going to be for that last spot, St. Louis, Milwaukee, because the only why I brought up Milwaukee because they close in division. I think my Braves can still win the East. So one of them, the Mets, well, both of them are going to probably get in, the Mets and the Braves. Padres, like I said, will they fall off? So you could have 3 National League East teams, and Philadelphia is right there. I think they always, Bryce Harper will be back, I think, and sooner than later. So I think they continue to probably win a little bit. So I think the teams that's involved now, this is going to be your teams. Of course, one of these teams will be the odd man out. So that's our baseball update for this week. So hallelujah with people that's not baseball fans. We finally got that out the way. So we about to move to the NBA. Been quiet. Been a lot going on this week. Only thing that came up again was the James Harden contract, because he gave up less money to bring in other guys like PJ Tucker and other pieces. But the PJ Tucker one is ringing a bell, as it's basically I think the Sixers are basically being accused of tampering. Because, which to me, tampering, that rule is I don't want to say it's stupid, but I think, like basically you can't talk to players if they under contracts with other teams, or if you can't supposed to talk to them before free agency starts officially and all this other stuff. But I think that's loose, because the players can talk, I believe. So, but I personally, I don't know. I guess if you could somehow prove that, I guess you probably have to find the Sixers. I don't know. But to me, it's kind of a waste of time. I think tampering happens all the time. Like, unless you're naive. I mean, you don't think players, or the player might be interested in going to that team and just want to figure out how to get there. So I think maybe that's what they try to say. Like, Harden specifically gave up less money to get specifically PJ Tucker there, which is still like, can you really prove that? The only link you got to them two, they used to play together at Houston, and then Daryl Morey is the GM. So we'll see if more details come out, because really not that much detail. They're just saying, that it's possible they probably was tampering. And Daniel House as well. Daniel House used to play for the Rockets. So, but you got Daryl Morey there. So basically, yeah. So like basically they probably said this was like pre-planned. I guess that's what basically long story short, because it's an article, you can read it yourself on ESPN or any other sports website. But basically I think they try to say they sort of planned this way before free agency and all. It was like probably behind the scenes or whatever. But that don't bother me, like, because just like you got players when they unhappy, they want to leave, like speaking of that, like Kevin Durant, his trade situation, he still got 4 years left on this deal. So I understand how some people say, well, you just gotta eat that. I mean, they don't have to do anything, which I don't know how that's gonna go, but you don't definitely want your superstar unhappy there, because it's just gonna mess up the chemistry of the team, or he's not gonna play as hard, because he don't want to be there. So you're just gonna pretty much be a mediocre team anyway. So but Boston has come up a lot. Like, that's been the real that's the lead dog. But I don't know if he wants to go to Boston. I don't think he ever said he wanted to go to Boston. He said Phoenix and Miami. But Boston would be good basketball wise. Like, they'd probably be favorites if he gets traded there to come out the East. But Jaylen Brown wasn't happy because he would be a part of the trade. Some people say they should trade Jason Tatum, and I like both of those. I like this Boston team. Like, I think them getting Malcolm Brogdon, that was going to prove because they needed a point guard. That was their number one weakness, obviously. I think that's why at certain points in the playoffs they turned the ball over a lot. But if I'm Boston, of course you're gonna do it, But if I'm the Nets, and what I heard they asked for, they want Jaylen Brown, they want Marcus Smart, the kid Williams, the center, and draft picks. They had like 3 or 4 first round draft picks. Like, wow, but you'll be an instant contender for at least the next few years if you do it. But if I don't know, but I think I can see both sides why they wouldn't do it, both sides why they would, because that's probably just for the clean house. I think if once they get Durant out, they're gonna try to move Kyrie as well. But I would have liked to see him stay. Honestly, I still do. I want to see him stay there, see what Ben Simmons got. Kyrie, if he plays, that'd be a good, interesting lineup. And Ben Simmons won't have to score either. He could just do what he do, make plays, finish around the basket, and play good defense. He won't be asked to score pretty much at all. So I think they could be a contender if they stay together. But Durant, as far as what I've heard, he definitely wants out. He don't care. He wants out. So we'll see if the Nets oblige. So that's the newest story with that. But Boston would be interested if he goes there. But I don't know if he really want to go to Boston though. I really don't. But if you look at it at basketball standpoint, that's somewhere he should want to go because you would be an instant. To me, you'd be probably favorites out the East, other than Milwaukee, which I would probably still take Milwaukee over them though, just because it'd be his first year there, he had to fit in and all that stuff. But I don't know. That'd be an interesting trade though if it goes down. But whatever that do happens, I give it to you next week, or I do a short on YouTube, so definitely look out for that. But that's it for the NBA because ain't nothing else going on. It's the off season, so we're gonna move right along to our NFL news. The NFL starting to kick off. Teams started training camp this week, so you're starting to feel that vibe of some football. So I'm happy about that. Like I said, I got my top 5 running back list right here. I'm gonna share it with you guys in a few moments. But first, let's talk about the Kyler Murray contract thing, or drama. I'll just call it drama because it is drama. Signed a contract, was it $250 million, $250.5 million to be exact. Then it came out that in the contract they put in that he had to do 4 hours of film study. Then he's been interviewed multiple times saying that he don't study film really that much. He just pretty much go on instinct while he out there. So he made it kind of hard for himself as well. So maybe the Cardinals felt like they had to put this in the contract, and they could study a little bit or whatever. But then it came out that this never happened before. Like, no other quarterback, or I guess nobody, never had that in their contract. So it basically, it blew up on the news. It was talked about, all week long. He had a press conference basically saying, he didn't like it. Basically, long story short. But it's something going on there, between Kyler and the front office. They're not getting along. But I think it was wrong for them to do it. But he signed the contract, so it's like you should have stood back and said no, like take that out, But the Cardinals wound up walking it back. They see the backlash and everything else in the drama, so they said that they rescinded that. So now it's just a standard, contract, I guess. But some people have some strong opinions on it, like both as far as him needing to study more and the Cardinals putting it in the contract in the first place. But it is this one thing that somebody made a good point this week, saying, you know, like the last 2 seasons, you start off well and then you falter at the end. So maybe they were saying that teams figured out his tendencies because they was watching film on him, but then he watching film on the defenses, so they figured him out, and that's why he struggled down the stretch. You can't argue that that's not true, you know, even though you don't know that, but can't argue that it's not true either. So so it was just a bad look, embarrassing for both Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I like the kid. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the future. I think he's going to be an elite quarterback eventually. But the Cardinals got a rough schedule. You know, you could go look at their schedule. They got a rough schedule, especially the first 5 games. But they started off well the last few seasons. We'll see. I think they still could be a playoff team, but I'm glad the Cardinals did walk it back, and now you can just move on. But once he struggles, it's going to come up again. So sorry about that. Like I said, we is on the playroom on the PS4. That's where I do my recording. So sometimes the Ubi robot will come out if I don't acknowledge it enough. But yeah, it was just a weird situation there. But he's there for the next 5 years. So you gotta make it work. You gotta figure it out. So hopefully they will. But I think you see if they build a team around him. I like the move Hollywood Brown. No DeAndre Hopkins the first 6 games, unfortunately, because of the PED bust or whatever he got popped with. So he'll be out the first 6 games, so that's gonna be tough. So he's gonna have to play. If you want to play well, you have to play above his means here to keep the Cardinals afloat, because the first couple of games is gonna be rough. Then in a tough division that you in, San Francisco, even though they pretty much going to Trey Lance, that's another story that happened this week. So basically, Jimmy is gone, or it's going to be traded, or they might just release him. But they turned into Trey Lance. Now that's a question mark for the Niners. He really ain't played in 2 years. Really, he played a little bit last year, but as far as consistent play, he hasn't been on the field as much. So, but he got a whole traded cap. He'll probably play a lot during the preseason, so we'll see what he has. So that's interesting. So the Cardinals still, you can still, compete for that spot, because Seattle is rebuilding. So I'd be shocked if they have a good year. Yeah, you got opportunity, so they don't need no distractions. So hopefully they start off okay, because if they start off bad, then I think it's going to be a snowball effect, and I think they ain't going to be able to recover before DeAndre get back. By the time he get back, his season might be already over, so. But yeah, that was the drama for the week for the NFL. Things going to start coming out. You got traded caps. Hopefully no injuries. Like, I hate injuries, just like any other fan. When it's another team goes, lose their best player, So hopefully everybody can stay healthy for the most part and get through the traded cap at preseason. Actually, the Hall of Fame game is this Thursday. Who plays that game? If I can check it out right now, I believe it's the Jags and somebody. Yeah, that's probably because Tony Baselli is going into the Hall of Fame. The Raiders, okay, and it's on NBC. That's this Thursday coming. So we got football already. So I'll definitely be watching. I don't put credence into the preseason, but I still like to watch, because there ain't been no football other than the USFL, which was good to me this year. It wasn't bad. The XFL will be coming soon, so like I said, it's going to be football all year round eventually. Then the NFL will take over the regular part of the season. So, but all right, let's go ahead. We're going to move on. Let's go ahead and get to the top 5 running backs of the NFL going into the season. I'm going to do wide receivers next week. Then I'm going to do top 5 defenses after that, and then team wise, and then by the time we get to that, it'll be close to the season. Then I'm gonna do a special preview show it'd probably be like a Wednesday night because the season starts on Thursday, so I'd probably do it Wednesday night. I might do it live. I think I'm gonna do it live this year. Just so I won't have to worry about the time. So I might do that live, and I announce the date and stuff later on. But it'll be, well, Wednesday. What's the season start with? The 8th. So it'll be whatever the Wednesday before the season is. That's when I'll do that. All right. So let me get into my list. So I'm gonna start from 5 to 1. I'm gonna post it on Facebook. I'm gonna post it on Instagram, Twitter. So later on in the day, I want people to watch first, and then I put out the list later on in the day, probably sometime this afternoon. All right, at number 5, Nick Chubb of the Cleveland Browns. You could argue he could be higher on this list, but I'll tell you why I got him 5th here. Some honorable mentions: Alvin Kamara is pretty good. He's not on the list. Other good running backs. But he was the main one. I think Aaron Jones for the Packers, I think he deserves some love out there as well. Saquon Barkley, even though he's been hurt. Christian McCaffrey, he's been hurt too, so I did put him on the list. But that's 3 big names, and I'm telling you that's not on the list. But Nick Chubb, I think part of it, he was a little hurt last year. And the 4 guys above him, I just think was just a little bit more consistent. But Nick Chubb is definitely top 5 material. There's no doubt about it. But then also, I won't say it hurt him because I'm just a fan making a list. But I think him sharing the backfield with Kareem Hunt, I put that to my thought in my mind. And then the guys above the years they had last year. So that's why I put him at 5. But he could definitely, you can argue, really all 5 of these guys have played for number 1, like in my opinion. But I got Nick Chubb at 5. Joe Mixon for the Cincinnati Bengals at 4. I just like his game. I'm a big fan of his. He had his little trouble. I don't know. I probably shouldn't bring it up because it was so long ago. But he slipped in the draft because of his troubles in college. I ain't gonna, you can look that up yourself. Probably shouldn't have brought it up at all. But people think people sort of counted him out. But he built his career back up. To me, he's great out the backfield catching the football, which I put into thinking about this list. And he was definitely one of the main pieces of this Bengals offense last year. And I think he's going to have another big year this year. So I got him at 4. Number 3, Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, any of these guys, you argue for number 1. And Cook is also good out catching the ball in the backfield. Pretty much carried the Vikings to me at times when Kirk Cousins is being Kirk Cousins. And that's no knock on Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. But both of them might be on my wide receiver list this week. But the Vikings, with all this talent, to me is a sleeper team. If the defense show up, Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins had a good year last year. It's just at money time, he just couldn't make the throws, or the defense didn't hold up. So if all that comes together, Minnesota could be a contender. Probably could win this division because Green Bay to me has really took some steps back. But I still think they're gonna win the division, though. I mean, I'm not going all the way there yet, but I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota be one of those surprise teams this year with the talent that they have. But that being said, Devin Cook is the number 3 on my list of running backs. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. Now talk about carrying them. He carried them. Carson Wentz was shaky at best last year. He moved on to Washington, obviously. But he quietly been a steady running back in this league. But he had his breakout year last year. Was in the MVP running until the Colts fell off. In the season, wound up not making the playoffs. But yeah, he could have definitely been an MVP candidate. And he might get it this year. We'll see with him and Matt Ryan. The Colts, another team that could be, I want to call them a sleeper team, but could win this division with Tennessee. And of course, you probably know who number 1 is by now. But Jonathan Taylor, number 2, and number 1, no doubt, King Henry, Derrick Henry, for the Tennessee Titans. Had hurt his foot last year, but to me, this guy is just a pure terror in the backfield. Watch out for that stiff arm. This guy is just the prototypical running back. Well, more old school running back. Give it to him 25 times a game. He's going to get you at least 80, 90 yards guaranteed. And then if he had a monster game, he could be over 200, 250. So I still got another one. I thought about putting Jonathan Taylor at 1, but I said no. I'm going to give Derrick Henry, still give him his respect. Even though he got hurt last year, he still was top 5 in yards, still was in the top 5 in everything. So I still give him his credit. So to recap the list: Nick Chubb at 5 from the Cleveland Browns, Joe Mixon is 4 from the Cincinnati Bengals, number 3 Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings, number 2 Jonathan Taylor of the Indianapolis Colts, and Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans, is still number 1. But you can argue any of these guys. I wouldn't argue with you too much that if you feel like any of these guys to be number 1, but I give Derrick Henry his respect. He's been the best running back going the last few years, no doubt. So that's my top 5 running back list. I will post it on social media. I asked if you guys agree, disagree, whatever. I got some pushbacks on my quarterback last week. Well, by some Ravens fans thinking Lamar should be in there. And I mean, he might this year. He might be a top 5 quarterback this year, but he was hurt last year, the end of the year. And the guys I had on the list, I think, just established themselves, or been established. So I had to put those guys on there. Alright, so that's it. We got through another show. Just some quick thoughts on the channel. Been doing Sonic Origins, is still doing very, very well. I might do a video of that today. I'm just gonna once I finish recording this, I'm gonna get it together, post it, and then I'm gonna take a little nap like I always do. Then I might get up, knock out a few videos. Stray, that's my newest project. That's still going. I got a feeling we started to get towards the end, but I'm really excited about the game. The story's starting to open up, so I'm gonna have to play that also offline as well, just to enjoy it for myself. Infamous First Light, that's over for now, but I don't know. I might record my freelancing part of it. The only thing about Infamous that I don't like is, like, once you finish the story, it's not that much to do really after that. Like, there's no point of being, I mean, yeah, you want to probably level all the way up, but for what? Like, now you don't have a challenge, you don't have nothing to do now. So but I might show some of that, so that's not a dead project yet. I might just put it in a separate playlist though. Still Call of Duty Vanguard will still be played. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Revenge, I'm still rotating still. We near the back end of the story mode. Then I'm gonna start doing some arcade mode gameplay. I do some online. I got a couple of videos of that. Playing online, playing with multiplayer, it's fun, but it's just chaotic, but it's fun though. What else I'm doing? MLB The Show tomorrow. It's the Sunday for it, so tomorrow you'll see some of that. I'm gonna call the game myself tomorrow, and like I said, now I'm gonna start breaking the game down to 2 parts so we can see the first to the 9th inning. So tomorrow game is the Cleveland Guardians against the San Diego Padres in my season 1 on franchise mode. So get up tomorrow morning, it'll be posted, I say, before noon. I'm gonna do it around the same time I'm doing this tomorrow. I'll be recording. I would do it live, but I don't want no, people probably take this wrong, but when I'm live, then I have interactions sometimes, and then I miss calling the game. So I want to call the game. I want to call a clean game. So I'm gonna break the game down into 2 parts. But I might go live one day still with it, because my boy, Good Vibes, probably want to see that. Shout out to you again, buddy. You believed in me when I didn't believe. I'm at 100. I don't want to jinx it because it could go back down, but I'm at 100 right now. I got to 101, and then I went back down to 100. So don't know what that was about, but anyway, So my new goal now is to get to 200 by the end of August. So I'm gonna up the goal now. Let's see if I can get 100 within a month. I got, I think for like this Sonic Origins was about a month. So I say I got about 40 in a month. But I'm gonna try to push it. Hopefully I can get 200 by the end of August. So that's my goal. If I don't reach it, that's fine. But I'm gonna set the goal a little higher this time. Because I set this 100 goal for October, because I usually get about 1 or 2 subscribers here and there. That's how it's been going. So yeah, so I'm gonna set the goal a little higher. So let's see if we can get there. But we right at 100. So I appreciate you guys. That's why I wanted to make sure I got this video in, because I definitely want to shout out, especially Good Vibes. First of all, thank you. He's been very supportive since he's been on the channel. I appreciate it so much. TB Cooley, another gamer, she family over 1,000, so I think she's monetized. I think, so definitely go check out. She do a lot of Grand Theft Auto videos. She watched my videos yesterday. And check your Instagram, TB. So hopefully I get to talk to you soon. Help Arts 888. She's going through some things, but she's been supportive, since we discovered each other. And I still want to do that collab. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll do it one day. That's something we can work on behind the scenes. Once you get things settled and everything, we can definitely do that. I definitely wouldn't mind that at all. But you gotta get a PS4. I think she got an Xbox, so that's already a problem. You gotta get a PS4. It was a little debate. I was in somebody's chat yesterday. There's a little debate over Xbox and PlayStations. People say Xbox. I heard some Xbox. I was like, no, man. Like, I don't hate Xbox. It's, I would still get one. Like, but I'm not gonna buy one just to buy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just now, if I got the extra money to buy one just to have one, yeah. But I would barely play it. I would probably just play 1 or 2 games on there. And I think that's the issue. I think Sony's exclusives is just blowing them out the water so far as pure gaming. Sony is well ahead of them. But Xbox got some perks that PlayStation don't got. I think they subscriptions to play a lot is a little bit better. Things of that, small stuff like that is better. But overall, to me, it's not even close. Actually, I would buy a Nintendo Switch, which I want to get. Matter of fact, I would try to get one for my birthday, for a treat for myself. And if I'm able to somehow link that to my YouTube, that'd be great as well. But I'm gonna get me a Switch. I probably get the Lite. I probably don't need to get the full, so I get the Lite. The Lite is a little bit cheaper. It's handheld, but I'm not gonna be, I don't need to have a whole other system anyway. You can play the same games on the Lite, so I'm gonna get me. That's one thing I want. I'm gonna get me a Lite around my birthday time. So, but I just thank everybody. It's been a long journey. I've been on YouTube since, like I said, since 2016. I started doing videos. My first project was Resident Evil 7. And to look back then, to look at now, so much has happened behind the scenes in my life. I had to move. I went through my depression. There's a lot of things happened between now and then. So this 100 feels good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Now I admit, like, I wish I had more support from people that I really know. Like my family and things of that nature. But I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm doing it for my therapeutic, for myself, for my mind. It's an outlet for me. So I keep that in mind, and that's what keep me going. Then the people that does support me, like Good Vibes, like Help Your Hearts. Shout out to Garrett Spencer. He's a retro gamer. He's real cool. I've seen a video of him this morning. Garrett Spencer, all lowercase letters. By the way, he actually have the old equipment. Like, he was playing on GameCube yesterday, NFL Blitz. He did a PlayStation 2 video when he was playing, I forgot what game it was. It was a shooting game. At PS2, PS2 was my system, man. I love the PS2. But if you really want to see some retro stuff, you go over to him. He got the actual equipment. I'm playing retro stuff through my PlayStation 4. Now he still got his old PS2. I think he got the PS3. He got his GameCube still. So his Sega Genesis. So definitely check him out. He's a good guy. He's almost at 1,000 subscribers. So let's help him get to that goal, so he can get monetized. Retro Ryan Gaming, he's an old school supporter. When I was playing Crash Bandicoot, but I heard from a while. But still, I thank you. You was a big supporter of mine. You was with me from day one. You was with me when I had 10 subscribers. Then I stopped playing. Once I played No Man's Sky, which is, I heard that game changed so much. But I got videos of that. You go check that out. That got me some guys. I think that's how I ran into him. And through Crash Bandicoot. Pet Nut, you cool, bro. But see, all they play is retro stuff, so their channels ain't active. But those was two guys that was real supportive of me, and both of them is from across the water. I got a lot of supporters from across the water as well, so shout out to the UK, man. Like, I got a lot of supporters from the UK. There's so many people, man. My family and friends, and my brother Darwan, my best friend Trinella, everybody that's been supportive. My sisters, even though it's not consistent, but still, I still thank them as well. But special shout out to a friend of mine. She's been a friend of mine for 20 years. Heard some bad news last night that she was in a car accident. Yvette from New Jersey. We've been friends for years. We tried to date, just to throw that out there. I think we're more friends now. I don't want to, that's some of my personal business. But this is definitely speaking as a friend. I hope you're all right. She tried to text me her condition, but she just has some injuries, so she can't really text. But when she told me what happened, it just shook me a little bit. So I'm gonna check on her in a little while. But we got back reunited once I opened my Instagram back up. And we've been talking here and there, so she's been supportive for the channel, been supportive of me on social media. So check out, like I said, all my social media be in the description. But I definitely want to. So whatever how you do it, I admit I'm not a religious person. I don't pray all the time, but if that's how you do it, whatever positive energy you give her right now, please, I appreciate it if y'all give it to her. Keep it in y'all thoughts. I'm gonna check on her a little later. And all my social media be in the description. So y'all follow me on social media. I'm gonna post every day on the running backs on social media. I'm kind of just rambling now. Just trying to think if I forgot anybody. If I did, I'm sorry. But y'all definitely here. Y'all definitely been pushing me to keep going. So I'm gonna keep going. I appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, if anything big happen next week, before next week, I'll do a short on it. To get my thoughts on it. But like I said, it's a quiet time for sports anyway. But check out all my projects, my video game playthroughs. Madness coming. Come out August 19th, so that'll be a project that's definitely coming. I'm gonna get 2K this year as well, so you're gonna see some basketball and football. And I'm gonna do it on the weekend. I'm doing it on Sundays. If this still my schedule, I might have to do one on Saturday and one on Sunday, because I'm gonna be playing both of them at the same time. But once football season starts, I ain't gonna be wanting to do any videos on Sundays, but I might just still have to. But thank you guys so much, man. Like, I really appreciate everybody that's genuinely supporting me. I appreciate it. I do. I get frustrated. I admit I get frustrated. I feel like I should be getting a little bit more support, but that's life. You got to keep pushing regardless if you get the support or not. But I thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool. It's another hot weekend. Another hot day today here in Maryland where I am. And y'all stay safe, man. Like, I live in Baltimore. Like I said, that's enough. You probably already know what I'm talking about. Just the murders and stuff that's going on in this city. I really hope it changes soon. I'd be afraid to go outside sometimes, man. Like, it's crazy out here. So wherever your city is, I'm sure it's happening all over the country. So definitely stay safe, man. And I love you guys. Thank you guys. Peace and love always. I see you in the next video. Check me out on social media. Don't be a stranger. Reach out to me. I talk to you. I'm not a social person, but I definitely will talk to you about something that you want to talk about. But peace and love, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I'm Troy West. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.